Okay, so again, we're working with the spinal muscles, the spine and the spinal muscle in terms of the elongation of them, but also the release of them. So you can sit, if you want to sit in Virasana, which is more ideal for feeling the compactness of the hips, or you can sit as I'm doing in Swastikasana, and of course you can put the belt, the Yoga Pata on, as I've shown. So just take time to pronate the palms on the roots of the thighs. So you feel the thighs, the tops of the thighs moving away from the side walls. And then with your hands, trace the side ribs up to your armpit chest. Hook the thumbs underneath the armpit chest and sense that these muscles, the pectoral muscles, are spreading. And then release the palms lightly to the roots of the thighs. Close the eyes without dropping the chest. It's very common to drop the chest as soon as we close the eyes. Spread the skin across the forehead. Relax the back of the throat, the tongue, let it settle into the lower arch of the mouth. And then bring your attention to that part of you that's in contact with the floor. Some of you, it's the feet in Virasana and the shins. Some of you, of course, it's the buttock bones in contact with the floor or the block or the bolster or blankets. And then again, give a good lift to your spine. As you inhale, lift the trunk off the hips, which is a healthy action for the hips. And allow yourself to feel that area that you just palpated underneath the collarbones, that area to spread. Breathing in and out in that manner. Keep the eyes looking downward and inward to reduce the proliferation of thought. Soft, even inhalation, soft, even exhalation. And if the mind goes somewhere else, just bring it back to the touchstones wherever you feel and however you feel yourself sitting. That grounding quality of the body in contact with the earth. And then if you'd like, you can fold the palms in the middle of the chest and repeat your own vow, or mine, actually not mine, it's the Dalai Lama's vow. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. And may I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist. Until all beings are enlightened, I vow to be here to serve them all. And then with your palms in front of the chest, gently release the palms to the roots of the thighs. Lift your gaze and allow your eyes to open. So we're actually going to do 2 supine poses. And I want you to use this time, these 2 supine poses, basically to release the side walls of the chest. So that's why we're going to do a trunk supported Supta Baddha Konasana. Take head support in this manner and lie in front of the bolster in Supta Baddha Konasana. So the trunk support, when you have the soft support of the bolster underneath you, could use 2 blankets. It allows you, if you bring your hands again to the side walls of the chest, it allows the spinal muscles to release. Now, last week, I was going to say last year, if you remember, we did the spinal roll, which is different. That alerts the spine, makes it like a live wire. So today I'm not going to say it's the opposite because it technically isn't really the opposite. But again, we're looking to do some twisting and turning. So we need to release the spinal muscles. That's good, Beth. Supta Baddha Konasana. Those of you who, if you have any gripping in your inner thighs, then please take 2 blankets for your outer thighs and support them. Okay, that will help. I don't think many of you need that, but it's always an option. Press the feet. Again, those of you who have knee issues, the feet are further from the perineum. Press the feet, widen the thighs away, and use the action of the feet pressing to spread across the pubic plate. And then if you want to, and all, using your hands for that proprioception really helps. It also keeps your mind focused on what you're doing, what you're working on, and feeling and observing. So you can trace the hands again from the ilium bones all the way to the armpit chest. Work with the breath on the inhalation, the skin underneath the collarbones expanding, and then soft, even exhalation down the chest. Again, keep the gaze of the eyes downward and inward, so there's less proliferation of thought. So Supta Baddha Konasana done in this way, really for the organic body. We did it last week, I think, no, the week before that, flat on our backs. Okay, and just relax. So those of you coming in now, we're just doing Supta Baddha Konasana, lying on our back with vertical trunk support. Belt is optional. And head support. It's nice to have this head support at the spine of the shoulders so that the sides of the throat are long and you don't get that crick at the occipital ridge. So I see some of you I know weren't here this week, so I'm going to, I'll have to improvise a little bit of what I'm going to do, present some of it in the same way we did on Tuesday, but then I want to do some other things as well. And just enjoy your breath in Supta Baddha Konasana. Those of you who have been busy this week, getting ready for the holidays, this will be nice. Yes, Julia, I did want to say, I saw your arms. Taking the arms out to the side with the palms up is also very helpful. It's that decentralized arm position that helps the body relax. Not to say it's wrong to take the arms overhead, but it's nice to have that wide, slightly bent elbow so that you're not straining at all in the pectoral muscles. Again, use this to release and relax the paraspinal muscles, the muscles that run along, around the spine, paraspinal, para meaning around, along. Now, just when you're ready, touch Urdhva Hastasana, keep the elbows straight, just touch it without alerting the brain. Good. And now take the arms down by your side. And roll to your right or left side. Feet on the floor. Good. All right, so we're going to do Supta Virasana. We haven't done it. We talked about doing it. We did it, I think, 2 weeks ago, Lana. I remember it was, we had talked about if you don't do Supta Virasana, on a regular basis, it's more and more challenging. So some of you might need 2 bolsters or perhaps 1 bolster and a blanket. You all know this. I'll give you an option if anyone's not doing Supta Virasana. So we'll stay for a bit of time, take the arms into Parvatasana or Urdhva Baddha and recline back. Now, those of you who are unable to do Supta Virasana, simply do this one. With the feet flat on the floor, swinging the legs to and fro. Or you can do Supta Virasana just to remind you on a chair. Holly, this is an option for you. So a more upright iteration of Supta Virasana, where the knees aren't in that extreme angle. They're elevated, similar to what Sankatasana is that I taught on Tuesday. If the legs splay out, do use the belt. Otherwise, it's not necessary. And just against, probably do it that way in the chair, because that's a really good way to do it. And actually, when we do Sankatasana, Polly, that we're doing a little bit of footwork, you can go back to this. Hi, Lindsay, Carla. Okay, then when you're ready, go back. Lana, I think you can bring your setup a little bit closer in. I think it looks like a little bit too far away from, Warm up the feet. Okay, meaning not, yeah, you can do a toe squash, what we did on Tuesday, and then go backward. Watch, yeah, be on the baby toe side of the foot. Move your inner ankles to your outer ankles. Be on that median line of the shin so that the inner knees can turn from the inside out. If you haven't done it in a while, putting a bolster on the roots of the thighs, probably that's good, just like that. Putting a bolster or two on your thighs is really nice. Good. And now to get that elongation in the side walls of the stress, stretch the arms overhead. If you're near a wall and you happen to know how to get the exact distance where your palms actually touch the wall, that can be lovely as well. Find out in taking your arms overhead if you've let the legs splay apart. So remember, that's it, Gail. It's just like, yeah, take the thighs closer in. They don't have to touch. Keep moving the buttock flesh toward the backs of the knees. Use the arms overhead to elongate now. You won't get as much release in the spinal muscles as you do in Supta Baddha Konasana with organic support, but you get the elongation now. And then hold in Baddha Hasta. Hold your upper arms or your elbows. Probably you can do the same. Yeah. Polly, if you need a blanket on the seat of the chair so that you can, so I would pull the chair and maybe a little bit closer to your buttocks. That's it. Then sit down. Okay, stretch the arms, Urdhva Hastasana, and then you'll reclasp. And just appreciate this for the groins. It will help when we do Parsvottanasana, which we're doing today, and Parivrtta Trikonasana, which we're doing today, and Parivrtta Ardha which we're doing today. All right, these look good. Now when you're ready, place your hands in the arches of the feet, lead with your chest, out you come. And then give a good stretch in for your legs in Dandasana. So Elaine, I want to go back over this. So this is what we're going to do. Just let me show you quickly. If it bothers anyone's hips or knees, you can certainly do it in the chair, right? So you probably want to best do it. This is the modification if anyone's knees bother them. You're sitting in the middle of the chair and you'd be extending your arms forward and you can walk to the right over the right knee. Come back to center, walk to the left. So you won't have to change the cross. We will. So it's going to take us a little bit longer to do. Okay. Now others of you are going to, as we did on Tuesday. So let me just tell you why we're doing Parsva Swastikasana. So I'm sitting cross-legged. It doesn't matter which leg you have in front because you'll change. And then I'm going to go straight over my right knee. Okay. Now, the left buttock bone may lift up, that's fine, but aim it toward the floor. Some of you will need height of a bolster in front of you. So this is to elongate and release your spinal muscles. It feels really good and you don't have to have the elongation of the hamstrings. So oftentimes, Valerie, remember when we're doing forward bends and you had the hamstring injury, this was given as an option, right? Because it takes the hamstring out of the picture. Polly, I think I would, if it bothers you, because you see how the knees are higher than the groins, maybe best to just do it on the chair and you can get the same effect, okay? All right, so to the right when you go. And I want you to, I didn't say this on Tuesday, but since many of you were in the class, good Beth, on Tuesday, you can see now, having gone through revolved triangle, revolved half moon, the relevance of this pose to what we did. That's what I wanted you to glean on Tuesday. Julia, what would happen if you put your hands actually, I just see if you can get a better connection of the left armpit right here. Rahel, yeah, let me see. Yeah, lower the camera so I can see you. So watch this, Julia, not so much here, but here. You see, I'm really reaching out. All right. That's good, Lindsay. All right, I think I'll change up the seat. Remember, if you feel, or you could even see the shoulder blades hiking up toward the ceiling, then go wider line with the hands. So it'll also keep the trapezius from falling on top of the neck. All right. Now I'm going to teach it slightly differently. We'll stay on that side, watch, and then you'll do the second piece. So now I'm hooking my left elbow over my outer knee. And then watch, and I hope you make the connection to revolve triangle. I'm using my right hand. I have like a little suction cup with my right hand, and I'm using this hand on the floor to turn. So let me show you from this side. So I'm still going to the right, still with the same leg in front, turning, hooking elbow. If you have a long spine, use a block on your outer right leg, all right? All right, here we go. Again to the right. Hook the left elbow, Polly, that's it. You're just hooking on the chair. Elaine, this also would work for you on the chair. Exactly. It's really nice in the chair. It's like a Pajra Bakasana. Okay, these look good. Keep the head long, Beth. All right, now come back up. All right, now you got to go to the other side. So don't change the cross. You got to go to the left. We're just changing it. We did it very differently on Tuesday. Okay, so go out and over the left leg. Elongate your side ribs. And then the second part is the hook and the turn, using, in this case, the left elbow on the corner of the outer left hip, right elbow, sorry, and left hand to turn and turn. That's it, Rahel, and turn. Those of you who know Parivrtta Pajrakonasana, those of you who know all those standing twists, liken this to that. It really helps. That's it, Tony, and go. Yes, now hook, keep the trunk long, and relax the muscles alongside the spine, the intercostal muscles as well. And of course, it works beautifully on the chair. All right, now come back to center, stretch the legs out, and then change the cross. We go back to the left, this right, and then we hook. We just did it differently than what we did Tuesday. Just makes it a little bit easier doing part one and part two, one right after another. So you've changed the cross of the leg, you're going out over the right leg, stay for a minute, and then hook, still on the same leg, hook. So it's part one, part two, part A, part B, and go. Gail, that's good. And then I really want you to observe, and this is the thing, as we age, this whole, what I would say, the spinal muscles, but also the intercostal muscles feel, I think I likened it to kind of like ice on Tuesday. So this helps break it up. This helps break it up. Plus, this is the time spring to do twists, as you know, in our method. And then when you're ready doing part A, part B, go to your left. That's good, Lana. Keep the trapezius moving down, away. Don't let it fall on the neck. Don't let the shoulder blades fly up. Yes, and going to the left, the right buttock bone will lift a little bit. Maybe it doesn't lift at all. Those of you on the chair seat, it doesn't apply. Beautiful. This is really helpful. I bet that if you did this, maybe twice a week, every week, it would make a difference on how you feel, especially when you get up in the morning. Okay, now for something symmetrical and for elongation, take Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can start at the top of the mat and then step back just to give yourself an opportunity to stand. Elaine, you can do Prasarita Padottanasana when you're ready. Okay? All right, so Adho Mukha Svanasana. Beth, now downward facing dog. Yeah. Beth, you could do legs at the wall too in a Uttanasana. Yeah, so you're not bearing weight on the shoulder. Okay. If anyone's not bearing weight on their hands or their shoulders, they can do Prasarita Padottanasana or Uttanasana. Otherwise, we're in dog pose. The other possibility, Beth, I don't know if you've done this, but this is, just holding the sides of the chair can be very helpful. You're not weight bearing, just holding the sides of the chair. That's an option. Could even do another option I give Beth is doing modified warrior 3. That's good, Lionel. And now again, see if you can use dog pose, use the legs as they're the engine of the pose to get traction in your spine, particularly in the lower spine. Press the thighs back, press the hands down, and feel your spine getting longer and longer. Longer and longer. Okay, and now walk the feet toward the hands. Everyone can do this. All right, so now If you have two mats, then leave one on the floor. Otherwise, you can fold the mat in half and then fold it into the midline, like so. And then fold it again. So it's almost like an accordion pleat. And then watch, you'll take your block on the low or the medium side, bring that accordion pleat into the pit of the knee. Polly, you can try this with the block on the high side and sit back into Virasana. So this mat piece, this accordion pleat, will squash your calves down. This is particularly good, as my dear friend and colleague Jarvis says, to very good for bulky calves, for bulky muscular calves. You can feel how that mat piece is right in the pit of the knee, squashing that calf flesh down. And then to get some arm action, you can do again, Urdhva Badanguliasana arms, change the cross, or for some of you, Gomukhasana. Beth, I would probably not do Gomukhasana, Parvatasana. All right, so we're doing this calf squash. Change the cross. Polly, just, I would put a higher height underneath the buttocks, just, yeah. I think the blanket kind of is too thick and it interferes with your, yeah, that's fine. Okay, good. All right, that's it. Squash those calves. All right, now slowly come out. All right, take your belt and you're putting the belt in a very specific place in order that you can feel the calf more. So I'm taking my belt. You can do it seated. It's not as, it's a little bit harder on the back, but I have long arms, so it's easy for me to put the belt at that back circumference of the heel. Can you see it? And then I'm moving the leg toward me. So we're doing Supta Padangusthasana 1 for the calf. I'll give you more instructions once you get the belt on. You can do it at the wall, that's fine. So it's easier to bend the leg, Akunchanasana, Ekapada, Polly. So put the belt across so that the belt goes right here, that back circumference. And then you're going to pull the toes down, and no, the other way. So the toe, well, let me show in profile, watch. So the belt is at the back of the heel, almost so that it actually can be off the heel. And then look, I'm pulling the toes down. So my heel is higher than my toes. And that gives you that calf stretch in the back of the leg, as though you were doing the calf stretch on the chair. Tony, that's good. So see if you can lasso it. When you're lying down, I think that the strap go a little further back. So it's here. If you trace the circumference of the back heel, it's very far down, almost to the point, Julia, good, where the belt is kind of off the heel, not on the heel. It's at the back circumference. It's the part of your heels that we want to get flat on the floor. Good, Gail, in Adho Mukha Svanasana. It should feel very similar to what you do the calf stretch on the chair. Pull the toes down. Polly, you can hold the belt. Yeah, you don't have to stretch. I just did that to show you, to articulate the metrics of the foot, that the toes were actually lower than the heel, that geometry. Stay there, good, Beth, and move the leg. Think about doing this less for the abdomen, less for the hamstring, and more for the calf. Especially those of you who garden a lot, Gail and others. Yeah, that's excellent. Pull the toes down. Now, if you can easily hold the big toe, fine. We'll get to that later. We'll come back to Supta 1. All right, take the knee into the chest, Akunchanasana to the left, put the belt on, which I think is easier on the back. Get that belt. Once you bend the leg, it's easier to get the belt on that back of the heel, not on the heel, but actually that circumference, the rim of the heel, this rim. Rahel, do you have a question?
Yes, I'd like you to clarify what you mean by Kunshasana to the side. I'm not so sure I understand the name.
This is called a Kunshanasana, as well as Ekapada Padamuktasana. Jarvis most of the time calls it a Kunshanasana. Just to clarify, Rahel. I mean, either one, knee into chest. And then put the belt on, stretch the leg up, and remember, so this is a Supta Padangusthasana 1, for and from the calf. You know, in our method, we do the same poses, but for different parts of the body. Sometimes we're doing it for a physical part, sometimes we're doing it from an organic part. Today we're doing it for this, to stretch the calf so that our heels can come down in Parsvottanasana and revolve triangle. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So this first part of class is very calf centric. Okay. Stay for about the same amount of time. All right. Now we're going back to the feet. So watch. We're going to do this. We're going to go back to Virasana and then come into toe squash position. And then for some of you, you can raise the block to the medium or high side. So basically my knees are down, I'm on the balls of the feet, and then watch, have a bolster. Polly, I think you'll definitely need a bolster. And then for some of you, you can raise your thighs to parallel to the floor. Others of you will need to support it on the bolster. Those of you who have knee issues, this will help. The angle isn't as severe. All right. So we're going from Virasana to Sankatasana and then finally Vajrasana. All right. So let's start on the balls of the feet. Spread the toes. Good, Julia. Have the bolster nearby for Sankatasana. Have a block nearby. Put your hands in the soles of the feet. Spread the soles of the feet. All right. Now raise the thighs up so that they're parallel to the floor. You can sit on the block on the higher, the medium side. If it's too much on your knees, wedge in the bolster. Wedge in the, yeah, it's Beth, take the bolster. So that will make the trunk more upright. Wedge in the bolster. Wedge in the bolster. Okay, and now come into the more familiar Vajrasana, where you're on the tops of the feet and the buttocks are on the heels. Vajrasana. Holly, you can try this, or you can go back to the seat of the chair and do the Virasana. Okay. Now sit on your buttocks and stretch out your legs. All right, so I'm going to show you something new. I think we will try it because we folded that mat into that accordion pleat. Let's try doing a very, we haven't done this, a toe strengthening exercise. So let me just give you some background information. This device is called a Toe Pro, and it was formulated and designed by a man named Tommy Show, Dr. Tommy Show, who's actually a chiropractor, and he's written several books, but it's featured, I believe, in his book called Human Locomotion. The most important thing to know is that he is of the belief that when you strengthen your toes, the toes should be in the elongated position, not the curled position. Now, some of you, Val, I suspect, if you've been online and you're looking for toe exercises, they often have you put down some marbles and have you pick up the marbles with your toes, but he claims that's not the most effective way to strengthen the toes. So what we are going to do is watch this. All right, so just for balance, use the backrest of the chair. So I'm gonna have to show this rather well. And I set the accordion pleat right in front of the chair. This is the backrest of the chair. I hope you can see this. So I'm just putting my toes onto the surface. Let me make sure this is, I'm hoping, if you can't see me, please come on the screen. That's a better angle. All right, so watch, I have a chair rest because I'm gonna lean forward, right? So the toes, my toes are in extension position. And then you see I'm actually leaning into the toes. And I want to hold for about 5 counts. Now, the idea here is because you don't have a toe pro, imagine that you are making an impression of your toes in the mat itself. So we can do today maybe 10 times, a hold for 5 on each count. So the weight is going toward the toes, which actually is not often what we teach in yoga asana. It usually comes back to the heel. All right, so it's interesting. The weight has, so this is why the backrest in front of you will help, because you have to lean in. Julia, you have it. That's it. So listen, I'm going to show you my foot for a minute. I want to make sure this is perfectly clear. Watch. What's on the accordion pleat are the toes from here to here. If you're not clear, please come on, because I want to make sure I explain this. What's off the mat, the accordion pleat, is pretty much the ball of the foot. Now, if your heels go up a little bit, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. So we're going to do, as I said, 5. I think 5. We'll do 5. See how it is. Maybe 10 with a count of 5. Elaine, you're like almost. Yeah. I think I would move the chair back. It looks like the roll is too wide in terms of depth. I mean, so here's the device. And I know I'm just trying to improvise with the mat. So can you see that? This is the device. It's on an angle. It's about 2 inches thick. So don't have the mat too wide, because otherwise you're going to be really falling toward the chair. I don't know how.
Ronnie, I'm not understanding this. I don't feel anything. I'm not. We put our weight into our toes.
The weight is going to. You're putting the weight into the toes, Val, as a way of strengthening. It's not ideal, but I'm trying to basically mimic this toe pro device. So you could make a roll, but I worked with this all week and I found that the accordion pleat. Julia, come on, can I see yours? Tell me what are you feeling? Val, if you feel nothing, you feel nothing, but I want to get an idea. If some of you just come off and unmute yourselves, because Julia, it looked like your setup was good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel too much, but I feel a little bit of pressure and I guess pressure in my toes. And
okay, let me just explain with my hands. Look, guys, it should feel like this. But you have to. You have to have the imagination, because you don't have the toe pro device, and of course this is much thicker to press down on. But you have to sense that you're making an impression of your toes into that mat. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I'm just really at a loss because you don't have the toe pro, and I'm just trying to mimic it. Okay, so can we just do? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and that will be the end of that. Okay. So the main thing is we need to strengthen our toes because we want to combat falling. It's also very good for walking and running. And to do it in such a way, Val, that the toes are in the elongated position. And then what he does, if you have a visit with him, he then over time measures your toe strength with actually a toe strength meter. So,
okay, you're getting crazy. I put a book in it, and it made it a little firmer inside the mat, and then I could get more of a feeling of a stretch.
Yeah, I'm not, I tried that too yesterday, actually, to elevate it, but the book will prevent that. You need some resistance, you see? And the book gets that out of it. So it also depends on your mat. So it's
underneath the mat, so I still had the resistance from the mat.
You need to imagine, look, if my hand is here, that you're pressing down into, do you see how I'm strengthening my fingers when I do that?
It's like an isometric. Is it? I got it. I think more. It's like an isometric. You sort of press down.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. When you're doing physical therapy and they have you push against, and they're pushing against whatever it is that you're doing to create counter pressure to strengthen that muscle. But he wants to create that with extended toes.
Yeah, that's the principle.
And relaxing our toes.
So this is what usually when people in the past have strengthened their toes like this. You see, I'm sitting down and I'm picking up my sock. I'm curling my toes. But he said that's not helpful. The toe, whatever method you choose, the toes should be in the elongated position. So if you could think of something better, that's fine. Or you could get this Toe Pro for $25.
Ronnie, can you do it on that?
Yeah,
toe
that's
press?
it. Actually, that's good. Okay, so let me just do it on it, Gail. Gail. Just feel free to come on. This is just something new that I've been working with. So Gail, can you see this?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so the ball, does this help?
yeah.
my-
And so you push your toes down.
Yes, I'm pushing my toes down and I just imagine, oh my God, I'm making a dent in this black device.
Okay.
And then I come back, I held it for 5, and then I do it again. You can really feel how there's no question you're strengthening the toes. I wish I had one to send every one of you. Anyway, so if anyone, Rahel, I'll talk about this later with you separately. If anyone can think of a better way, the bolster's too squishy, the blanket's too soft, but it does also depend on the mat and also how much of a fold you get. I'd appreciate.
Ronnie, that pressing down, that, I got that.
Yes,
now.
it's
You
like I
feel
said,
it all the way, you feel
it's
it all
like
the way
this
up.
now. Pressing, sense that your toes are making an impression. Like if you quickly took your toes off the mat, you would see the impression of your toes. Okay. All right. Now,
So it's actually only your toes.
yes, only,
And
yes.
that are on the
Yes.
edge of the mat. You must
Right.
be careful because otherwise it lifts too much.
No, so I'm going to use my fingers. So this is, let's say the ball, this is the ball of the foot, Gail. Here are the toes. It's just the toes that are elevated on the surface. You're spreading the toes and pressing the toes down on the mat. I think it also depends on the mat thickness. Okay,
So
you
would
don't
you
want
say
it
that-
too thick.
So would you say that it's the opposite of what when people do forward bend and they are putting too much stress on their toes? That's what, or actually that's exactly the same thing. They are moving forward with their buttocks. So there is a lot of
Yes.
In what pose though were you likening to, Rahel?
I'm thinking of a Tadasana when you see your students.
Oh, yes, it's like, yes. So you're right. So I was thinking about that too. So it's like when I always teach Tadasana and people do this, right? Their thighs come forward and the weight goes to the toe. It's that. And that's what, it's so interesting because exactly, Rahel, we don't teach this. So it's the counter, it's the opposite to that. Take a calf stretch with the chair now. Calf stretch. You can use your mat, the accordion pleat in the same way. It's good to sometimes think outside the box here because we don't strengthen the toes. And we need to strengthen the toes in some way, if you can think of a better way. I mean, I base this on Tommy Shod's work, but if some of you know of any more strengthening toe exercises where the toes are an extension and not in flexion, let me know. Julia, that's good. Use the belt. Stretch the calves. Pull up on the belt so the pubic bone, is lifted. Okay. So maybe that worked, maybe it didn't, but I think it's all good. And again, you can get the Toe Pro device on his website, Tom Michaud, Michaud. All right. Remember, some of you are letting your chest come really forward. See if you can use the belt and just go straight up, like Utkatasana. That's good. So this should feel very similar to what we did in the Supta Padangusthasana 1 for the calf. Beth, try not to let the chest come forward. Lift from the sides of the pubic bone. If you want to do it against the wall, Tony, with your feet on the blocks, that's fine. Okay. So as I said, this first half of the class, we worked with our calves, calf-centric, in order so that the heels can be down, not just in dog pose, but in revolved triangle, in Parsvarottanasana. All right, now do this, just lie flat on your back. We didn't do this on Tuesday. Take Supta Padangusthasana 1 to the max, and then we'll do Parsvarottanasana. All right, because I felt that some of you, that what I saw on Tuesday, the hamstrings needed a little more work. So you can do with the feet at the wall, and take Ekapada Pavanmuttasana or Kunshanasana, knee into the chest first. Put the belt on. If you want it again at the back heel, if you're not used to working with it, that's fine. Otherwise, it can be in the arch of the foot and take, so Paula, now we're doing Supta 1. Those of you who can hold the big toe, fine. That's it, Beth. Start it, yeah, that's it. Watch the outer right hip. Don't let it move out. Hips are balanced, side ribs even. Don't let the right hip move out to the side. That's particularly important in revolved triangle. That front leg hip wants to move out. So move your outer right hip toward the left. Pin it. There's an outer compactness, but there's space and freedom in the groins, an outer compactness and inner freedom in the groins. And go to your max. When you're ready, about 1.5 minutes, then indeed lift the chest, lift the head, and take the leg toward you. That's it then. Just like you will do in Parsvottanasana. Good. You need the strap, that's fine. Watch the left thigh, don't let it hike up. Okay, and now Dvipada, take something symmetrical. Dvipada, Dvi is 2, Ekapada 1. Merge the thighs with the chest. That will help you bring the leg toward the chest. Merge it. Take an inhalation against the resistance of the abdomen, moving back. Bring the legs in closer. Should feel like child's pose, upside down. Merge the legs with the chest. Then extend through the core of your right heel, back to Kunshanasana left leg or Ekapada. Put the belt on. Those of you who want to at the back of the heel, that's fine. And take the leg to 90. And then work on this left side about 2 minutes in length. So you're not lifting the chest and head yet. Again, evolve the pose. Left hip. You know what's coming down the road. So we can avoid future obstacles, knowing what's ahead of us. Parsvottanasana, revolved triangle, revolved half moon. Watch that left hip. Compact the hips, outer compactness, inner freedom in the groins. And then when you're ready, raise the chest, raise the head, and take the leg toward you as though you were bowing down in Parsvottanasana. Okay, and then Dvipada. Okay, now do Adho Mukha Svanasana, again with the awareness on the calves to get the heels down. If you're not doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, Beth, Elaine, then Uttanasana with the legs against the wall, hands on blocks, okay? So you feel it in your calves. All right, here we go. Sink the heels down, that's it. Okay, everybody come up onto the balls of the feet. Get the height of the pelvis. That's it, Julia. Height of the pelvis. Now imagine me standing behind you. I'm holding the roots of the thighs and pressing the thighs back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Watch the inner heels. Don't let them collide with each other. Inner heels moving away. Good. Inner heels moving away. Elongate the foot. Now imagine I'm standing behind your heels and sinking that circumference, the outer circumference of the heels down, where the belt was. Let those heels come down. Now, if your heels are even a smidge up, even a smidge, walk in as little as you can so that the upper spine doesn't round. But I want the heels down. The legs are the engine of the pose. The heels are down. Those of you whose heels are firmly down, lift the toes up to move the shin, the top of the shin back. So toes up, shin back, heels down, toes up, shin back, like Utkatasana. Beth, walk in a smidge because the heels are a little bit behind your ischial tuberosities. That's good. Good, good, good. Yeah, that's it. So you walked in to get the heels down. I don't mind if you're walking in, but just don't round the spine, the upper back. The spinal muscles between the shoulder blades still need to move in. Okay, now walk your feet toward your hands or your hands to your feet. Take Uttanasana, head down, full pose. Hold the backs of the calves and move the calves, spread the calf flesh as you did with the, hold the back of the calf now. More active phase. Move the calf to the shin, move the calf to the shin and go down. Move the calf, good, Val, to the shin. That's good, Lindsay, go down. Release, now you get that release in the side ribs. Work with gravity, go down, go down. If you want to clasp your fingers at the level of the back calf, that might help you. Polly, that's excellent. Okay, and now inhale, up you come. All right, so now we're going to go through basically 3 standing poses that all involve calf work. The back heel has to be down. If you choose to do all of them or any one of them with the back heel at the wall, that's fine. If you need the blocks, you'll need the blocks probably for revolved triangle. Some of you won't need it for Parsvottanasana. All right, so watch. You can step back or you come into Parsvottanasana from Utthita Hasta Padasana. And then I'm bending at my hips. As I bend at the hips, the fronts of the thighs move back. So remember what I said about Supta Padangusthasana 1. This outer right hip doesn't move out to the side, pins in, outer compactness. We'll stay for a moment in the concave and then keeping the legs poker stiff, bow down. All right? Parsvottanasana. You can come into it stepping back or from Utthita Hasta. I'm giving you some options because some of you were here on Tuesday. Step back or come into it from Utthita Hasta Padasana, which is fine. If you step back, make sure that the distance, guys, is the stance isn't too short. Rahel, I think you can inch out with the front right foot. Now suck the outer right shin in, outer right shin in. Put your hands on those indents to get the compactness. Remember Supta 1. Now bending forward at your hips, move the tops of the thighs back. That heel has to be down. Pause in concave, weight there. Legs are straight. So I'm just looking to see that in the concave, the shoulders are not higher than the hips. Some of you need the blocks just on the medium side. Lana, just fingertips. Many of you just, blocks can be on the, try the fingertips, Lana. No, I think the fingertips on the blocks. Trapezius moving away from the neck. Beth, if you can show me in profile, that would be ideal because I have to look at your lumbar spine. Now, when you're ready, keep the legs straight and bow down. Just what you just did in Supta Padangusthasana. Polly, good. Keeping that right leg poker stiff. Draw up from the knee to the hip. Pinning, pinning. Side ribs equally long. Yes, Julia, putting your hand there can help not let that right hip crease move up toward the right side of the ribs. Okay, now kick forward with the back leg. Repeat Uttanasana, feet together. Release the spinal muscles. Find a way that works for you. Placing the hands on the floor is the classic way. Some of you can do that. We just did it with the hands behind the calf to move the calf to the shin. That's another way. So that's good, Rahel. Yes. And that way, if you're holding the lower leg, it helps you do what? It helps you shift the weight, right? So the buttocks want to fly back. So holding the lower leg helps shift the weight. It'll feel like you're about to fall over. All right, and now inhale, up you come. All right, do this for me, just humor me. So those of you step back, do it from Utthita Hasta. Those of you did it from Utthita Hasta, start from stepping back, just to, vary it, make it fun. So, it's good to challenge the brain with novelty, right? So if you're doing the same pose in the same way, think about it now for the brain. Step back or jump out. All right. Left leg is turned out. Right leg turned in a little bit. If you turn, and this is interesting, if you turn the back leg in too much, you will lose the compactness in the hips. So your back right foot should not run parallel to your front foot. All right. Now get the compactness of the hips. Keep the legs straight. Probably you need to take a wider stance in the left leg. Inch out. Suck the left shin in, then bend forward, move the roots of the thighs back and go forward. That's it, Beth. Concave. Beth, that's good. Now, Beth, for you, you can bring the hands to the floor. Yes, probably flat palm. Because you don't want the shoulders higher than the hips, Beth. That's it. But don't let the abdomen spill out and then go down. Go down. Merge. Remember, you're merging the trunk with the legs. Merge the trunk with the legs. Merge, merge, merge. Good, Rahel. In merging, find out if you let that left hip go out to the side. All right, now kick forward with the back leg. Retake Uttanasana. Those of you who want to have a different experience, you can have the legs at the wall, many different ways, or take it on the chair. Go up on your chair seat if you feel safe. Watch now, Beth, because now the buttocks are going too far forward. That's perfect. Legs perpendicular. Take a look in the screen now, Beth, because now you have the legs perpendicular. And before they were going slightly forward. Find a way for you to do Uttanasana that's palatable. Okay, and now inhale, up you come. Polly, I think for you, you're going to need the chair for revolved triangle. And remember how we do it? You weren't here on Tuesday, but this has helped you in the past. So you have the seat of the chair beside your right shin in this way. Remember this? Others of you, I'd like to do it more without the chair, okay? The other way, Polly, is just anterior facing against the wall. All right, so this one, I think we'll all step back, have blocks, and make sure the blocks will be closer to your ankle. So you're going to step back with your left leg. Watch for a moment. I reach out with my left arm. I bring the hand down to the block, and the block is close to my heel. So I can use a piece of my left forearm to press into my right shin and use it as a means to turn my chest toward you. Keep the right hand on the hip, all right? All right, let's take it from the start. Step back with your left heel. Can be at the wall if you're using it for the back heel. So Polly, the chair is not in front of the right foot, it's off to the side, on the right side. So bring the chair to your right shin. So your chair is here in front of your foot. No, it has to be here on the side, on the right side. So spatially, you see how the chair is off to my right shin. All right, now when you're ready, back heel down. Bring it back, Polly, much further back. No, have the chair in line with the right shin. Extend the left forearm. All right, reach out the other way. Reach out. Bring the hand down to the block. All right, now move the right hip into the midline. Right? Don't let it move out. Draw the right hip back. Extend the trunk forward. And now turn. Have the memory of what you did in Parsvaswastikasana. Turn at the waist. In fact, if you want, put your right hand on the left side of your waist and turn. Turn. That's it, Beth. Legs are straight. Keep turning, everyone. Imagine you were back in Parsvaswastikasana. That's good. All right. Now from here, extend the left arm forward and elegantly come up and change sides. So Polly, maybe I'll try it this way. So here, my left leg is here. This is my left leg. I'm putting the chair on the left side of my left leg. So I can put my right hand on the seat of the chair. Maybe seeing it from that angle will help. Okay, so revolve triangle to your left. Left leg's in front. Right leg is behind, either at the wall. Reach out with your right arm, extend the trunk forward, get length. That's the elongation of the spinal muscles. Bring the hand down to the floor. Remember the metrics. Don't have the block so too high so that the shoulders higher than the hips. Okay, now turn the right side of your waist. Turn at the mid-rib band. Turn at the shoulders. That's it. Keep turning. Julia, that's good. Turn, turn, turn toward the wall. Turn. Legs are straight. That's good, Lindsay. Legs are straight. All right, now press the feet down and inhale, up you come. All right, now we're doing revolved half moon. Let me just say, and I'm going to go over this one more time. I'm going to show on this, my left side. So watch. We did this on Tuesday. We went to the wall to turn. So when I go to my left, you see how this right side of my body, these ribs are very convex. All right, I have to move the right side of my body away from my hand so that these convex ribs now are more concave. So I think I mentioned this on Tuesday. when you come into revolved half moon, because the hand goes further out, about 12 inches in front of it will be your right foot, that added dimension of length makes those back ribs cut in and down. So it's interesting, the very metrics of revolved half moon on some level are easier to get the thick ribs thin in revolved half moon versus revolved triangle. Okay, let's take revolved half moon from revolved triangle. All right, again, pick a different way to come into it. Either stepping back, jumping, just to challenge yourself a different way. Back heel can be at the wall, in this case, the left heel. That's it. Turn, coming back to revolved triangle, extend the left arm forward, extend forward, but move the tops of the thighs down. Yes, keep the right hand on the hip. Wait there and turn. That's beautiful. Good. Now find out as you turn to the right, cut the left side of your rib cage down and in. So those thick parts are thin. Now put your mind's eye on the left side and now observe when you bend the front leg, step out with the left hand, step up. That's it, Rahel, with the back leg. Now get those left side of the ribs to cut down and in. See how much easier it is to make those good, to make those thick ribs thin in revolved half moon because the very geometry is different. Now elegantly bend the front leg. Well done, Rahel. Come back with the back heel. Pause in revolved triangle. So begin where you end where you started and up you come. Okay, so when you go to the left, what I want you to do, as soon as you extend the right arm out, be aware of this band and you'll see how much longer the whole right side of the chest becomes when you do revolved half moon. So you can use revolved half moon as a platform to learn something about revolved triangle. Okay, we're going to the left. Let's just see. All right, here we go. Left side. That means left leg's in front. Right arm is extended and go. Revolved triangle. Okay, now have your focus on this one. You're pinning the left hip in. Now watch those right back ribs. Make them thinner and thinner as you extend. Good, Polly. The right arm out. Yes. Draw up the back leg. Straighten that front left leg. Lift the leg, the back right leg, so it's at least parallel to the floor. Parallel. Keep drawing up from the knee to the hip. Good, Val. Now to come out, come back to revolved triangle. Well done. Well done. Take revolved triangle and inhale, up you come. Okay, let's just do this. Lie flat on your back. We'll do Supta Padangusthasana 3, which is basically supine revolved triangle. All right, so watch. Some of you will be able to hold the big toe or maybe the outer edge of the foot. Staying on the median line, you'll cross the right to the left. So again, there's that outer compactness in the hips, but the inner thighs move away. Anyone who has groin issues, get a belt and you'll pull to the right as you take the right leg to the left. All right. This will help many of you. Just thinking of, so in thinking about revolved triangle, I was thinking about how revolved half moon is really helpful. The last time I taught revolved triangle, the Utthita variety, it used to be called Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 3, is also helpful. We might do that next. All right, take the right leg up. Those of you who can hold the big toe or the outer edge of the right foot, helpful. Now, first here, imagine a strap was on the middle of your chest and you were divided in half on your median line. Okay, now holding with the belt with your left hand or holding the foot, take the right leg, the right hip will lift in that movement across to the left. Outer compactness, inner thighs away. Now, as you take the leg out to the left, turn in the same manner you did in revolved triangle. In fact, you can use your right hand, as I'm doing now, and swiping with my right hand, swipe the waist, 3 bands at the midribs. And then, of course, the upper chest doesn't turn quite as much, staying on the median line. Turn, turn, turn. The right hip will lift a little bit. It has to. Good. Remember, the inner groins are moving away from each other, but the hips are compact. All right, now change sides. So appreciate this supine iteration of revolved triangle. And then I think today we'll change and do the Utthita, the standing iteration. Left leg up just as a change of pace. Good, Beth. You can hold the outer edge of the foot. But Beth, in holding the outer edge of that left foot, don't let the left hip hike up to the left side of the waist. Now find your median line first. Find the median line first. Now let the left leg cross to the right, but turn. Come on, turn, just like revolved triangle. You don't have to worry about the back ribs anymore, right? Because you're on the floor, it's supine. That's it, legs are straight. You're still on the median line. Inner thighs moving away, outer compactness. Now come back to center. Take the knees into the chest just for something symmetrical. Take Adho Mukha Svanasana for something symmetrical. Elaine, you can just stay on the floor and do Dvipada. Same thing for Beth. Everybody else, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then someone I'd like to volunteer for Pavrita Hasta Padangusthasana, or formerly Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 3 with support. Okay. Beth, go a little higher up with your hands, okay? Yes, Rahel, that's good. Val, I think I might have you demonstrate the Utthita style, or whoever wants to demonstrate. All right, walk the feet toward the hands. So Val, this is the one where I want to just spotlight someone, where you're going to hold the outer edge of the foot. If you need the strap, that's fine, and take it in this manner, right? No, Val? Oh, Val.
I'll try.
Splurge, live a little, right? All right, try it. All right, let me spotlight Val. All right, so this is interesting because where'd she go? There she is. We're going straight for the gusto, meaning freestanding. So this is just like revolved triangle. It's exactly what you did supine. So Val, you'll see if you need the bell. You'll see. Pick a leg, any leg. Stand in Samastiti. Spread the toes, spread the feet, lift the arches, lift the kneecaps. Now lift a leg, it doesn't matter which. Back to that Akunchanasana. Did you freeze? Oh no. Oh, there she is. Okay, that's it, Val. Okay, so now you want to turn, right? So now you have to turn the chest toward the wall. Can you do it the back to the wall, Val? Come down. Have your back, you're not against the wall. Okay, now take it again. All right, lift the leg. Hold with the opposite hand, the outer edge. Just get us. That's good. Now press the root of the standing thigh back. Good. And now turn toward the mirror. That's a good pose. The hips are compact, the inner thighs are moving away, and you're aiming the median line of your body to face the mirror. Okay. The back against the wall, not touching it, is really helpful. All right. Thanks, Val. It was excellent. All right, let's see it, everyone. If you need a chair, you all know how to use the chair, but I'd love to see it freestanding today. So adjust your cameras, everyone, so I can see you all, just as long as we took that brief break. I'd like to see you. And I don't care which leg, because oftentimes if we do it on our quote unquote better leg, that more intelligent side trains the other side. Rahel, that's good. So be near the wall if you need it for your back hand. All right, pick a leg, any leg. Polly, double loop the belt, because what happens is that belt is too long and you're leaning back. Good, Rahel. Compact the hips, inner thighs away, and then turn in the same way. Just imagine you were flipped over onto standing on your 2 feet. Watch that crossover effect, Julia, of the leg. Lindsay, that's beautiful. Yeah, don't let the aerial leg crisscross. That's an unhealthy action on the groins, Julia. Lindsay, good. Change side. That's better, Julia. That's it, Lana. Now, Lana, no, it might be, I don't know if you felt that your chest was slightly leaning back. So make sure the loop is not too long. Okay, let's see. You don't have to stay long. Good, Rahel. Shoulders are over hips. Again, outer compactness. The hardest part here is to move the root of the thigh, of the standing thigh back. Don't stay long. Don't stay long. It's interesting, Lindsay, on this side, it's more in your lower spine. That pitching forward, so draw your abdomen back toward the front of the spine. That's better. That's better. And now for you, Lindsay, really suck in the outer hips, get those indents, move the inner thighs away. And actually for Beth, it's the same thing. Okay, these look good. All right, can we humor ourselves and take revolved triangle one more time? If you've had enough, come back and do Supta 3. But I would like to see revolved triangle, having done the Ekapada Jethara, or commonly known as Supta Pada Krishnasana 3, and this Utthita, this standing iteration. Okay, it should be the very Elaine, too short a stance now. I don't know if you realize that. Okay, let's see it. Revolved triangle. Holly, try the block. It might be easier than the chair. All right, that's it, Rahel. Opposite arm, opposite leg. That's it. Now, assess your back body. Make the thick, that's it, Rahel, right where your hand is. Cut it down, Rahel, and move it in. Remember what you felt in revolved half moon? There was that thinness. Okay, now full pose, lift the hand off the hip and turn. If you have a shoulder issue, Beth, then it's the top arm. I would keep on the hip, but it's not that arm. Okay, now extend the left arm forward and come up and change sides. Okay, hopefully the Ekapada and the Utthita iteration help. Other side, Lindsay, these I know are, these are easeful for you. It's better than saying easy. That's good, Elaine. Yes, Elaine, now notice that, see how the shoulders are in line with the hips, which is what I'm looking for, that they're not higher or lower. That's it, Beth. Okay, full pose, because you can use that top left arm now to turn some more, unless you're, so Beth, yeah, your left arm, you have to keep it on the hip. If it's the, yeah, or extend it like a bat wing. Yes, Val, good questions. We're doing revolved triangle and enjoying all what we've done. Polly, that's it. Go back to revolved half moon. I wish you were here on Tuesday, or go to the recording where I teach it against the wall. Okay, I know you're calm. All right, sit down just for a bit of a rest. Upavishta Konasana. So I hope that, revolved triangle is a challenging pose for a lot of bodies. And it's a challenging pose again as we age, because of the back body gets thick, right? Tends to do this, more convexity. So we're breaking up what I call that sort of ice configuration, releasing the spinal muscles. And then make your pivot plate a little wider. All right, now we're doing Parshva Upavishta Konasana. So in the same way that we did Parshva Swastikasana, watch, you're going to take your arms up, and then I'm turning, not here from my head. I initiate the turn, and if it's helpful for you, put your hand on your left side of the waist and turn. And I'm aiming the left hand to the outer right knee. I'll glance at my left foot from the corner of my left eye and see that I haven't lost the perpendicular quality. Okay, so take the arms up, everyone. So when this is what happens oftentimes. People take the arms up and then they do this, right? The turn starts from here. The head is the last to turn. Okay, let's see it again. Be on the, yeah, Beth, go a little less wide in the legs. Yeah, not so much in line with the hips, and turn to the right. Let's see, this should come easily. Now, I will say that if, Elaine, for you, if that Parshva Swastikasana was challenging for the hip, then this could also be an alternative in addition to what I said on the chair. Lana, that's good. All right, now come back to center, raise the arms up, get lengthened to the side walls of the chest. Now the rib cage should have much more freedom than it did earlier on in the class, right? All right, now turn from the right side of your waist, initiate the turn from there versus the head. So you're turning at 3 distinct places: the waist, the mid-ribs, and the top shelf of the chest. Okay, find out in turning to the left, did you lose the contact of the right leg with the floor? Okay, come back to center and repeat. All right, to the right again, raise the arms up. Sharp exhalation, turn from the left side of your waist. so that your chest, if you're facing the wall, your whole chest would be parallel to the wall. That's how much you turn. Okay, and then left side, raise the arms up, seal the legs, exhale, turn from the right side of your waist. Again, there should be much more freedom compared to, you know, earlier on in the class, Parshva Swastikasana. Okay. And now come back to center. All right, let's do this. We did this on Tuesday. You're going to take the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. And then this is Janu Shirshasana, beginning leg position. Then you're going to go over the right leg again, like what we did earlier, the first thing. Then between the two legs, and then on the inside seam of the left leg come forward, okay? All right, let's try that. Janu Shirshasana preparation. Right sole of the foot is on the inner left thigh. If the knee is up, Polly, then you can get height underneath both buttocks. Probably 2 blankets. Okay,
Can I
now
do
go
this
to
with
the
two
right.
straight legs?
Hmm?
Can I do this with 2 straight legs?
Yes. Yes. Is your knee bothering you?
Janu always bothers my knee.
Even with height underneath the buttocks, Beth?
It really, it doesn't work.
Okay, then what I would do honestly is do Paschimottanasana.
Okay,
Okay, will be better than Upavishta. Okay, here we go. Janu Shirshasana, 3 distinct parts. Over to the right, between the legs, and on the inside seam of the leg. Just go out. Again, if the trapezius is falling on your neck, go wider with your hands. Rahel, you can try putting your hands on a bolster and see if you get more length and release of the spinal muscles. Sometimes the elevation of the hands really helps. Polly, the other thing is just to sit in the chair and extend the arms to the wall, which is always a possibility. Change sides when you're ready. I see some of you already have. We're doing this to make Janu Shirshasana a little bit more palatable to the left, in between the legs, and then on the inner seam of the right leg. Rahel, that's good. Get elongation to the side walls of the chest and a release of the spinal muscles. Polly, that's working really well. Really well. Okay. All right, now come back to center. I want to get to this point. So watch. Similar to how we hooked in Parshva Swastikasana, I'll just show you on a diagonal. All right, so first, I'm going to take the concave stage of Janu Shirshasana, getting length to my spine. Then I'm going to hook. My right leg is bent as you just did. I'm going to hook my elbow on the outside of my left knee. And then I like to use my hand to, again, turn. I'm turning my ribs from the right to the left. And then once I've established as much turn as I possibly can, I quickly let go and reach for my foot. In the final pose, the arms are straight, the hands are beyond the foot. Many of you can do that much, all right? So we're picking this apart. We got length, we got suppleness. Then we're hooking like we did. So bring us back to where we were earlier in the class. We got the hook to turn and then walk. So I'm getting that hook and then I sneakily extend my arms and go down like Paschimottanasana. Try it in that manner. See how we do. We haven't done this pose in a bit of time. That's it, Rahel. So hook the right elbow. If you need a block, if you have short arms, hook it. And Polly and Elaine, not Elaine, Polly, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Just hook the elbow. All right, now, once you've got the turning, the maximum power of turning the right side to the left, then hold the foot and go. Rahel, make sure you're getting the compactness in the outer right hips. Go forward. Now find out, and I keep saying that, in going forward, did you lose the contact of the left thigh, back of the thigh with the floor? And inhale, up you come. If anyone's back is bothering them or hips are bothering them, please stay in the concave stage. Left leg, sole of the foot on the inside. All right, now you're aiming that left elbow on the outside. Right, get the turn in this position. So it's very similar to what I taught in revolve triangle when I asked you to use your forearm to effectively get more turn. You're using your elbow. If the elbow doesn't come to the floor, put the blanket in, turn from the left to the right. And then when you can't turn anymore, reach out and hold the right foot and go down. So that's fine to do Parivrtta or Shirshasana. Beth, okay. All right, now everyone take Paschimottanasana. More for the organic body. You can have a bolster there and have the legs wide apart. That's it, Rahel. Again, Polly, yeah, that's fine. Put a little bit of height underneath the seat, Polly, that's fine. Those of you who want to roll out your armpits, which helps you come forward, it's helpful. Julia, that's good. Len, I still think so I think for you, you know, sitting on, you know, can you just show me in profile? Turn, yes, I want to just see the angle of your chest to your leg. Go ahead. You get the bolster. Yeah, that's better. Just roll out. Polly, that's really good. That bolster works really well for you so that your trunk, you know, as you come forward, the whole body, the diaphragm has to come forward, right? The whole spine has to move. Oftentimes this upper spine moves, but the diaphragm stays back. So you have to move the whole upper body with the diaphragm. Now, when you come out, I'd like you to do a few rounds of Chatuspadasana. If it's challenging on your knees, belt the ankles. You're lying flat on your back. Yeah, you can start this. I mean, for those of you whose knees don't bother, then bringing the shins in, merging the chest with the thigh, and then getting the heels right in front of the ischial tuberosities. And then you can hold your ankles and go up. Remember, when you lift up, don't let the thighs become Baddha Konasana. That's, yeah, really work those gluteal muscles back. Yeah, sense your whole back body, the posterior chain is doing the work, not the front body. So you're not lifting from the abdomen. Let's see. Beth, this work is really helpful for you because of, you know, you have a very, very flexible hamstrings. Go up and down. Yes, you can bend your elbows. For some of you, that might help you lift the chest. Yes. Palms facing. Press down to go up. Good, Rahel. And then you can hold it for maybe a count of 10. You can put a block or blanket between the thighs. It's a little bit, as Patricia often says, grunt work, but it's particularly good to do having worked those, you know, working on the pliability of the hamstrings. You want to counterbalance that by working on the strength. Good. That's it, Lana. Press down to go. Sense you're lifting your pelvis, chest up, not from the front side of the body, but from the back side. So a visual, if you imagine I'm standing in your room and I have a belt on your mid buttock and I'm standing over you and I'm lifting the strap up to the ceiling against your buttocks, that mid buttock. So you're really activating your gluteal muscles. Okay, and down you come. All right, now I think to relax the lower back, let's do Shavasana with the lower legs on the seat of a chair, or you can do a prone Shavasana. I mean, whatever Shavasana feels good. So lower legs on the seat of the chair, in the pit of the knee, perhaps. Some of you might choose to go flat or even prone. Just feel your body now at the present moment and decide what Shavasana you need now. That's the very best way. Make sure your lower back can spread. Having done all those forward seated forward bends and standing forward bends. If your abdomen feels tight in any way, put a bolster on the high side, especially for those of you who are in the chair. Let the arms go out to the side. That's it, Rahel, yeah. So the blankets, yeah. So this oftentimes prone shavasana requires, 5 to 7 blankets, a blanket roll at the front of the ankle, 2 blankets, one for each armpit, blankets underneath the abdomen as well. And as you close the eyes, let the temple skin broaden. Again, sense the eyes are looking downward into the heart center, downward and inward. That's a very helpful trajectory for the mind, downward and inward. As though you could see inside the center of your chest. Yeah, Rahel, I think it makes sure the roots of the thighs, so back up, Rahel, go away from the rope wall so the roots of your thighs are on the floor. That might be a little bit, yeah, okay, that's it. So the root, yeah, so back up to the ankle side, that's good. And then assess right at the waistline, Rahel, that should feel spreading. Downward and inward. Sense the mind on that trajectory, at that downward slope to the chest. As though you could see inside your own being. Continue to let the eyes spread from the inner corners to the outer corners, and then connecting the outer corners of the eyes to the outer temples. Feel the space between the eyebrows broaden in that action. And if you're prone, you won't feel that as much because you're prone, but you can imagine that. And then free the sides of the throat, the pit of the throat. Sometimes opening the mouth is helpful to do that. And then as you stay in Shavasana, sense that everything is doable. Everything is manageable. Everything is waiting for you. Sense an optimism coming into your being. Be confident in your future. Now, if for some reason you want to move to child's pose with the chest supported, it's particularly good to do child's pose during prone shavasana. It's a very good transition. If not, don't do and just stay where you are. For some of you might consider sitting. And those of you who are sitting, sense the alertness of the spine, but also the spreading and the release of the muscles that run alongside the spine. So you're not sitting, or for that matter, lying down with anything rigid or hard. There's a quality of suppleness in the skin, suppleness in the muscles, feeling space within space. See if you can cultivate that quality of balancing attention with relaxation, which is indeed Shavasana.